where teams who were first pick would consistently get more wins. That's probably likely starting to change. This I feel may have been a mistake from KT. It's a good map for ESTAR.
Yeah, it's a very good map for ESTAR. However, it is probably one of the few maps in Heroes of the Storm, not really one of the few maps, but one of the best maps to come back on, because you can't immediately get pushed out, you can't immediately drop your core after losing a couple of team fights. There's always space to come back, and we saw this in Europe early when Team Liquid against Team Dignitas, I believe it was, pulled off a miracle comeback, sitting at 3 or 4 core HP, and they pulled it off all the way when Dignitas still had 20 plus. So very, very impressive, and, you know, maybe KT can follow suit here.
Indeed, I would like to see if they can. We shall find out as we go into the draft for game number 2. This just mirrors that hexagon not fit as well as the others. It's sticking out quite a bit on the left and right, but not at the top and bottom.
Which hexagon are you talking about? The one
the
in the
map
middle?
hexagon.
Yeah, it looks a little bit off, yeah. I tend to agree, but maybe it's just an optical illusion here, but...
Maybe. Oh well. Now, we see Global banned out. The Haka is removed, as is the Genji, with Ariel making it into first pick, not Uther today.
Ooh, and this speaks a very clear language. KT, they're on the Illidan Abathur hype train, and we remember what that meant a couple of weeks ago when they faced CE and almost got away with it.
Yeah, wow. So, I hope they're going for the same draft. That would be really, really good. We will find out. Welcome back to the welcome back to the 16% Abathur win rate. We're gonna see that. Let's see if that can change. Also, rip the Stitches 100% win rate for KT. Well then, this is going to be interesting.
Oh, there we go. Abathur actually doing a little bit better than we had anticipated.
Okay, so yeah, Muscle League is slightly off on its particular stats.
Not really a whole lot better though.
Oh no, yeah, this is the. So wait, where am I seeing the actual Abathur? Something here is either clearly in the wrong phase or something like that.
Yeah. Maybe it only shows.
Oh yeah, because they have season 1 as well. Yeah, this is just phase 2 that I'm looking at.
Gotcha. And immediately the Cassia is being deployed, and I like it. We said earlier that Cassia is good against basic attackers in general, and especially against melee assassins like Illidan, because not only does she have an easier time dodging those attacks or preventing those attacks because Illidan needs to actively go to her, but also the blind is going to cripple Illidan's battle performance even more. No self-heal, no cooldown reduction on his abilities, so the more blinds you have, the better. And I just need to look up the name of the talent, but you have this talent on Cassia that releases a blind when you get stunned. That is just the ultimate counter to the hunt.
Yes, it is. Really nice talent, and I believe it is called the... Not Sephrim's Hymn.
The Inner Light. The Inner Light at level 4. There we go.
Yeah, but Ring of the Leech, though.
I mean, depends on how many supports you get, right? In the double support cup, I think it's totally fine to avoid Ring of the Leech and go for Inner Light. If it's just Oriole, then I would agree the self-sustain can be a little bit more valuable.
I would agree with you. We will see if that ends up being the case. For now, KT, what else do they need to stick with the same comp as last time? Tyrael is still required for this. Rhaegar is required for this, and he's banned. So they can't Bloodlust. They still go Tyrael, and they bring out Brightwing.
Okay, so Tyrael, of course, offers additional support for Illidan. He buffs his movement speed a little bit with his Smite, has a little bit more protection with the shields, and Sanctification, maybe. Brightwing, though, I'm not 100% sold, Tetra. I'm not sure what your feelings are about this, but Brightwing, to me, just doesn't seem to be the ideal burst support for an Illidan.
Brightwing provides armor. With TP build, she can provide shields and health. Her healing isn't a huge amount. She has a lot of pre-damage protection. I would have loved that Tassadar as a second support. So, KT now, I feel there's very little that they have left that can really boost attack speed. You know what? No, it's against Cassia. I was going to say Raider as a last pick. Just if you're going to do it, then you might as well do it weird. But no, you're against Cassia. That's going to be a really rough time, which is still already a problem for even going something like Morales as a second support for the extra attack speed and stuff like that.
It should be a mage,
have
though.
A rough time.
Yeah, you brought up a good point. It should definitely be a mage pick now. Maybe a Jaina to make it harder for the enemy team to run away, or by the same token, having a slow on Arthas.
The double Abatha, double Jaina.
Double Jaina would have been great for burst too. I agree. The false set is too weak in my opinion. I don't think false set adds enough oomph to your overall comp.
They have quadruple global, so
yeah,
that's nice, I guess.
Almost going full fanatic here.
Yeah, they've got to really just map out play to win here, which they can do. They've got really nice wave clear. They have rotational ability. KT are going to have to play this pretty flawlessly, though, to be able to take the win here.
I wouldn't want to be in Illidan's shoes when there's a Cassia and an Arthas in the enemy team, and a double support. So, not only are you going to get slowed and blinded, you're going to have a harder time punching someone down thanks to the shields and heals on the enemy side as well. So, boy oh boy, is he going to have a task ahead of him.
Yeah, they got to split forever. Also, I don't know if you... sorry, next time they show a wide shot of that big Arthas portrait that they used to show the drafts in the studio, his knee looks really mad about something. You'll probably see it in a bit, but it just caught my eye and it amused me, the face it was pulling.
Tetra, you are the master of seeing hidden things. What was it? You saw
Malthael's hood.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. That's one of them, yeah. I see ESTAR's a leg.
Do you sometimes watch clouds in the sky and make up figures as well?
Oh yeah, always. It's fun. Okay, here we go. See if we see it's V or not. Either way, guys, we're heading into game number 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is map 2 between those two beautiful teams, ESTAR and KT. In the blues, we have the favorites coming in once more, only one match away from taking it 2-0. We have FC on the Anubarak, China #1 on Ariel, Good on his Cassia, Kid on Tassadar, and Ooze on the main tank on Arthas.
Whereas on the right-hand side, it is going to be KT, with T-Die on Brightwing, Neptune on Illidan, Fury on Falstad, C-Ink on the Abatha, and Butcher on the Tyrael. Interesting that the main ranged assassin player, I would say, is on the Abatha this time. Cool.
Yeah, Abatha is normally played by flex players. In Europe, for example, we have Hazuups for Team Liquid, who plays him a lot and plays him very well. We have Snitch, who's a very good Abatha as well for Team Dignitas. So yeah, really cool to see that the main ranged carry, main assassin player is one responsible here. Now, also I wanted to highlight that we highlighted Ooze before, like being super flexible, being super diverse on his hero pool. He just went from melee assassin to main tank, once again showing how versatile he is.
Very true indeed. It is very cool to see this kind of versatility from all these players. So, Illidan, Immolation, split push style, he needs this. Go everything except team fight. Ability power from both Brightwing and Falstad, once again adjusting to the Cassia. KT, so far, they're making the best out of a really terrible situation for them in terms of draft.
Yeah. And in terms of Abatha builds, we are kind of used to seeing everything. Like you never can lock down one and only build on an Abatha because you always have to adapt, quite literally. He's going for the pressurized glance, of course providing a little bit more range of the symbiote spike burst, and of course also increasing the decreasing the cooldown, excuse me. That could be very useful with the heal later on. So many things to keep Illidan alive as time goes by.
If it wasn't so weak, I would argue that this would be the map where Locust build would probably have the most value, because keep taking every bell tower is so important, so split pushing when the enemy team is not there is all the more important. So, unfortunately though, the build is too weak, and also sometimes bugged / stealth nerfed when people aren't expecting it every single time, despite it never reaching popularity. So, yeah, it's still interesting to see the adjustments here. For now, we're entering into the first altar phase. 1 in mid, 2 up top. With Falstad still putting pressure onto that top lane, harassing Arthas. And this is the joy of a ranged hero versus a melee hero. Exactly. Where Arthas just building up lots of Q stacks.
Yeah, and Arthas is going to have to use a lot of mana to constantly heal himself up with a Death Coil. It's just really annoying when you're having such an unmobile hero and you have to face a ranged assassin. Now is ESTAR just going to let this go through? It seems like they are... Okay, there we go.
Yeah. This is... I agree with this. KT, they know they can't teamfight yet. They need to get themselves stacked. They need to keep pressure on. They need to keep the map control. The best thing they can do right now is to avoid ESTAR at all costs, which is actually a bit of a problem in the bot lane, because no one's there except for Abathur, so Anubarak's just sort of pushing forever.
Yeah. And Anubarak, if you don't take care of this guy, he's actually going to deal a lot of damage to your structures, because he can push even without minions around. As long as he has beetles to soak up the tower and fort aggro, he can keep on attacking. So really, really nice to consider that. Also, I want to highlight the Brightwing build here a little bit. She went for Dream Shot at level 1 and the Arcane Barrage at level 4. This is basically a full sniper build. You get lower cooldown when you hit enemy heroes with it. You have a longer range to cast it from, and it wouldn't surprise me to maybe see the Sticky Flare at level 13 to even provide an additional slow as well.
There is a chance of that, but Icebox is insanely valuable, especially with the travel speed of the Cocoon slowed down quite a bit. You could actually Icebox it if you're quick enough. But yeah, this is the build we saw last week as well. It's becoming a little bit more popular these days. You can still take Cleanse with it. You're not locked into it. You can still take the Teleport Shield and still get some value out of it. We will see when we hit level 7 what Brightwing does go for. Damage being dropped onto Ooze. Try to focus it down, and it's in body blocks. Not enough to lock him down. That would have given them level 7 straight away. Instead, they'll just grab it from these minions just in time for the next objective. And this is the bad news time for KT. They still take Cleanse, which is good because the amount of CC. But it's bad news time because ESTAR can just raid. They're even talents, and KT want to avoid that as much as possible.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. It's getting worse the more time goes by without KT having like a solid lead. With a composition like that, you never want to fall behind. If you do, even just one level, you're going to have such a hard time to come back. And look at the dominance ESTAR starts building up here. They know exactly at the early game is in their favor. The blind goes in the stun against the wall as well, and Butcher now in trouble.
Yeah, Butcher focused down, and like we said, KT, they don't have a comp they can team fight with. Honestly, I would have preferred to see Felstead if he hadn't flown back, if he hadn't beat back. Yeah. I would have liked to have seen him fly to the enemy point and try and take it. Yeah, he would have died, but you could have kept split pushing at the same time. You've got some Merc camps that are still getting some good value. I don't know. I'm not sure. I think I maybe would like to see that. Also, Arthas, with the Q sustained, I guess him knowing there's not a huge amount of CC.
I like it. There's only a polymorph, really, and that is the only source of CC that KT largely has. So, going for the Immortal Coil, which will give him additional healing value if self-cast, or give him a standard healing value now if you use on an enemy, is going to have a lot of value. I like it. Also, look at the level 7 talent on Cassia Tetra. You mentioned it earlier, and this time it was picked.
Oh, yeah. The War Traveler. I like it. The extra movement speed. Make it so that you can stay moving even more, keep Illidan out of position.
True.
You can chase Illidan down even better while still keeping your armor up. It's cool. I like it.
Yeah, I like it. So the more often you take your reflect damage using your trade, the faster Cassia is going to move. And that doesn't have like a duration. It's passive. It's permanent. It is so good. Providing Cassia with additional mobility to run away from Illidan, or, as Tetra said, to chase him down a little bit more efficiently. And if you take the copy into consideration that KT is going to have later on, double Illidan maybe, that is going to be one hell of a useful talent.
Yes, it will. Very cool to see. Lots of mobility. Chase that Illidan. Chase that Brightwing. Just get as much value out of that as you can. I'm liking the amount of camps that KT are taking. They are still trying to go for a split push style and try to just get little picks here and there, but they need to back up. That Army of the Dead shows that ESTAR had reinforcements coming, and they used that opportunity straight away to retreat. Brightwing holding her level 10. It really should be Blink Heal at this point. You're already all in on everything else. Okay, they are all in on teamfight right now.
Well, she goes for Emerald Wind anyway.
They're not all in on teamfight. They're all in a disengage, I guess. Like, the Emerald Wind is so they can run away more, but Blink Heal is sort of a Brightwing is going to get engaged upon. This is a we're all going to get engaged upon, and we want to avoid that while still having a chance of fighting and blowing a single person up.
Cassia taking a lot of damage. She was hunted on. The copy has been popped as well. Neptune, though, so low. And when your Illidan is that low, you cannot fight it anymore. You need to pull back. And the Emerald Wind despite our criticism, actually proving to be a very, very reliable disengage tool here. But as a result, they also have to give up the altar, excuse me, once more. And slowly but surely, this is starting to get a little bit out of control for KT here, because only 20 HP left. Wow, look at that beautiful force ball detainment strike kill here. ESTAR turning it up, Tetcher.
Yeah, and this split push style with all these single blow up and all this disengage, so far not working. Like, if they were going to do this style, they should have 100% taken the judgment at minimum, I believe. Yes, Zack's good for retreating, but it sort of leaves you like one place to retreat. Lets Brightwing get off Emerald Wind, etc. But I think judgment, they need to just blow up individual people and just continue to rotate and take mercenaries. That's how they're going to win this game, and they're avoiding it. They're relying too much on the hunt.
Yeah, so basically, as Tetra just said, they're not playing the map, they're not applying pressure elsewhere with the mercenary camps. Instead, they're just trying to soak a little bit and then initiate team fights from a hidden angle. This time it might work though. Ooze is a little bit too far off.
Force Wall's good, they focus him down, Aegis is here, can they play? Yes they can, and the Emerald Wind to make sure there's no follow-up on it. Now if Tyrael can get out safely, which he can very nicely, they're going for more, they have a numbers advantage. This is risky, but good, taking lots of damage. But Neptune taken out here. They went too greedy.
Yep.
It was like, oh, we have a kill. I guess we'll keep going. No, you take one and you leave. You know you can't fight, even if you take down a single member.
Also not sure why there was a copy on Falstad instead of the Illidan. And the copy also seemed to arrive a little bit too late. Yeah, it was... As you said, I mean, when you have Arthas killed, you can take things a little bit more slowly. You don't need to rush things, especially when there's still a Nubarak left, when there's still a Tassadar left, and... The ball lightning here by Cassia was single-handedly annihilating Neptune on the Illidan. He, in particular, seems to always drop way too low before the real team fight even starts. So Neptune needs to take things a little bit more slowly.
Yes, he does. He's trying his best. He doesn't have a huge amount of support. To be fair, the Hunt used very deep to deny the objective here. Yeah. And this time, Neptune just take a huge amount of damage. He's good. He's in position to turn around. Sank dropped with very little synergy. No one else actually there. So Sank kind of burned here. Polymorph is used. Fury getting dropped low, surviving though, thanks to the Emerald Wind. Get out of the circle. Nice. They can still try and turn it round. Falstad in the cocoon though. Illidan killed off on his own. Boy. Down goes Neptune. Down goes Tyrael. Down goes Falstad. And Brightwing, thanks to Arthas, taken out as well. No one to teleport to except Abathur, but there was too much CC and is taken out.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we can count that as a full team wipe because you very rarely get Abathur in his log body as well. However, now, there is so much ESTAR can do. They can go for more bell towers, they can go for more mercenaries, which is definitely what they're going to do right now, or they could have maybe even gone for the boss. They can still go for the boss, basically, after taking those mercs, because they're going to threaten the core in the bottom, so KT definitely has to defend those, and in the meantime, they can use this distraction, ESTAR that is, and just go for the boss. Instead of 3 potential shots, they're going to end up getting 4. So, best case scenario, ESTAR probably going to take those that core down to 11 HP. KT, man, what do they need to do here? They're running out of options.
Right now. Flygust right now. Too late, too far away. Not happening. So they're going to take the shots. KT, they need to split push. They need to split push hard. Like, they're grabbing mercenaries here every now and again, but they're not making the most out of their composition. I really think that played better. This composition might have had a chance. Now they're isolated, they're in a rough position, trying to pull away. They need to avoid this team fight no matter what. Gust should be burned, Emerald Wind should be burned to escape. Emerald Wind, Ice Block to delay it. Gust is used, no Emerald Wind because he was focused down by Arthas. And here comes the ball lightning, which actually does nothing because it only gets 1 bounce. Full retreat. Sanctification delays a little bit, but that's going to be everyone dead. Copy just in time. Thanks, seeing. As we see dropping some damage onto FZ at least. Down goes Tyrael. Fury will live. That is a start. But yeah, this was wonky to say the least by KT. What I said Fury will live, what I actually meant Fury is dead.
Oh my god.
Seeing also focused down.
Yeah. Did you see how aggressively good played on that Cassie? He was charging in like a warrior into the entire team of KT because he knew there was enough protection behind him. He knew that KT was in disarray anyway, and they would probably run away instead of counter-engaging. So it is extremely unpleasant for the Illidan team when a Cassia charges into you like an enemy warrior. So, oh boy, oh boy. So we have 1, 2, 3 altars, I believe. because Anubrak is in the bottom.
Yep,
Yep.
correct.
Oh,
Abathur and Brightwing. Abathur tunneling down to the bot lane to get Brightwing somewhere to teleport to, giving vision for the hunt and focusing it down. And FZ is driven away. The core surviving on 1 hit point. Brightwing attempting to channel, and KT is saving themselves the game.
Okay, they stay in the game for now. Here comes Falset. They take him out. It is a 4 versus 5. Gus is okay. The ball lightning though is gonna clean it up, and Neptune dies.
Emerald Win. Oh, they can't use it. They've already used it. They're in full retreat. They can't retreat. This is still an enemy bell tower. Down. KD getting focused down. Fury's dead. T-Die trying to run away. Even Abathur, his body is not in the best positioning once this Falstad dies. They rotate to him. They're not able to.
Yeah.
Abathur still hidden. They're not able to find him. As we do see ESTAR pick up this mercenary camp. The question is, can Abathur really save this on his own? The answer is a resounding nope. As we do see the spawn time is ticking down. It's up to Illidan to try and save this game.
Okay, I mean, Illidan, he's a strong hero, and especially if combined with strong mechanics, he's quite survivable. However, I think here he's not going to have the best of chances.
TP in 5. Keep
delaying
Illidan. Keep delaying Illidan. No, Illidan. No!
Don't betray your teammates!
And the shot goes in. That is going to be GG. ESTAR taking a convincing 2-0 over Kudos top.
Clean and convincing, to say the least, especially game number 2. I mean, you gotta also say though that KT ran into a couple of brick walls here, and they tried to slam their heads through it. Unfortunately, the wall was too sturdy because Abathur, I mean, he's good with Illidan, but can he be strong enough against the likes of Arthas, Cassia, double support? No. And Neptune, no disrespect here by any means, but I think he was not strong enough of a player to make that Illidan work.
Yeah, not with that comp. That was not an Illidan teamfight comp, and they were trying to play it like an Illidan teamfight comp. That was a rotate, split push as much as you can, get individual blow-ups comp, and they did very little of that. They got like one really good blow-up where they actually were able to disengage. Yeah.
So, unfortunately, the draft wasn't there. The individual class to make this draft work, despite all the odds, or against all odds that ESTAR fielded, it was not there. So KT, they rightfully dropped this best of 2, unfortunately, so they stay in the bottom of the table, especially with Soa. I think getting 1 point, they might now be in an even worse position.
They're pretty rough. KT, they get 0 points. Soa get 1 point. So now KT and Soa are tied.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hot's Lady got 1 point, so they're still 1 point. They're still 1 point behind RPG, who are still yet to play. So if RPG can take a map, they will create a bit of distance and completely ruin CE's day. Because CE would then be behind ESTAR. But there we see Good getting the MVP. Like I said, he played like an assassin that game.
Like Good.
Sorry,
like a tank. Yeah, he was a warrior assassin hybrid pretty much. Cassia is pretty sturdy, and if there's no real danger, no threat potential in the form of a mage like Jaina, KT, then you're just having the best day of your life. And that's actually what we criticized during the draft. The Falstad, I didn't like it in the first place. Of course, it was an additional global, so they could try to go for this global gank style. But I think the likes of Jaina or a Kalthus, it would have paired off way better with Abathur as well. And the copy, there wasn't just enough damage.
I would have really liked the Jaina. He would have been good. Like, yeah, you're vulnerable a bit to a Noobrak, but at that point, really, you need something. You got Brightwing already for the protection. You have the protection you need. Just give Brightwing as much polymorph. Give them the cleanse. Same build. Get the cleanse, the Emerald Wind. Yeah, you're still not helping Illidan as much, but at least there's another threat. Whereas Falstad, it was just the extra global.
Yeah. Exactly. It was just the extra global, which they didn't really need and which didn't have that much of an impact in the first place. Now, get to see that some of the analysts were wrong. In fact, it was only one of them.
Yeah, he's been wrong every game today. I've been keeping an eye. He's not doing a goal. I wish I could translate his name. But...
I mean, you gotta start catching up in prediction points somewhere, right? But unfortunately, he chose the wrong game to do so.
Indeed. Like, he was along the right tracks. KT, they had a chance of pulling off the cheese. They went for a not really a cheesy comp. That was a too difficult to execute comp to pull off against ESTAR, I would say.
Yeah.
So